What's up, everybody? I'm Caesar, and today we're going to be talking about shadow people. So, shadow people, I think it's one of the most enduring and famous urban legends out there, and there might be a reason for it. I think we've all been there. You're taking it easy at night, just chilling, and all of a sudden you see something sneaking through the darkness, and you turn around to see that there's nothing there, and you start feeling uneasy, and you're still feeling scared and paranoid, and that's how it starts. And it's usually just that, but sometimes you come face to face with them, and when that happens, and it would seem that it's more often than you would like, everything goes to hell. But what are the shadow people? Well, the usual description goes something like this: tall, dark figure, darker than the surrounding night, male looking. They sometimes have a pair of glowing eyes, and they sometimes also wear long coats or cloaks and hats. And they are usually accompanied by a sense of fear, a sense of discomfort, of unease, or straight up impending doom. There was this Twilight Zone episode like ages ago. Knowing about that one is kind of geeky. Good stuff. I think that they got the look just right. Although, as far as I know, don't do that because it's level here. Sorry. Although, as far as I know, they can talk. At least of what I've read, of what I've heard, they've never spoken. Do you know of a shadow person speaking? Tell us in the comments. There are several theories about what they really are and what they won't, and they usually revolve around how they look like and how they behave. And I think pretty much we can break this down into three categories. The first one is your wispy looking, foggy, smoky kind of figure. It's like a very dense, very dark smoke that moves around. It's easy not to confuse it with actual smoke because it doesn't dissipate and it moves with a purpose. It looks like it's purposely doing whatever it's doing. So it's clear that it's an entity in it that has some sort of intelligence, some sort of will. These guys usually just don't give a damn about us. They are just going about their business, and we happen to notice them, but they rarely seem to acknowledge us. They don't usually engage with us in any way. The second type is the human-looking ones. The tall figure, male-looking, with the coat and the hat or a bare chest. Those are usually just like witnessing, like staring at us. They're called sometimes the observers because they do seem to know we're there. They just don't seem to care. Sometimes, though, that kind of man-looking, human-looking shadow people can actually interact with you. Think, for example, the old hag, the sleep paralysis beings. We're going to be talking about those in depth on another episode for one very good reason. I happen to suffer from sleep paralysis. I've had dozens and dozens of episodes, and you don't always see those things. It's actually pretty rare, for me at least. You don't always feel things. Sometimes you do. Usually you know what's happening and you think like, oh, God damn it, it's this again. It's okay, it's fine. But sometimes there's something else there with you, and it gets nasty. So we'll talk about that some other time. And the third kind that's really bad stuff. Those are the inhuman looking ones. They don't look like animals, they don't look like people, they look like something maybe in between. There's something wrong about them. They're shaped, well, some people think like demons. They just look nasty, and those guys usually are very bad news. They are the ones usually that want to straight up hurt you, and bad. I'm talking about bites and scratches and pushing you down the stairs, even possession sometimes it's been said to happen. Those guys are bad news. Be careful with those. Some people believe they literally feed off of our fear and our anxieties and our insecurities and all those negative emotions. Some people believe they are just watchers. They are just like witnesses of whatever we are doing for whatever reason. And some other people believe they are actual demons. They actually come from hell. Or they are very, very low frequency energies and entities whose very nature is to punish and bring suffering and torment and eventually maybe even kill. I don't know if they have an evil nature. Dark doesn't necessarily mean evil and light doesn't necessarily mean good. Think, for example, of puppies and dogs. I think dogs are one of the most wonderful, beautiful, magnificent creatures on earth. But under the right circumstances, they can look damn creepy. That being said, I've never heard of or read about a shadow person bringing comfort to anyone, being gentle, bringing good vibes, good feelings, good energies, being good, being nice. They always seem to bring misery, pain, fear, discomfort, and ultimately bad stuff, bad news for whomever is unlucky enough to be their host. They are oftentimes seen as bad omens. Think the Banshee or the Mothman or the Black Hounds. That they seem to, their very presence seems to mean that something horrible is about to happen for either the one that experiences them directly or one of their loved ones. So what to do if you find one, if you happen to have one, if you encounter one of them, often. As long as it's not the biting, scratching, pushing down the stairs kind, the usual recommendation is to acknowledge them as little as possible. Try to be as unafraid of them as possible. If they, and so it would seem, do actually feed off of our negative emotions, give them as little of them as possible. Eventually, if you do that, you will starve them off of your fear and they'll just go look elsewhere. Now, if you have one of the nasty ones, of the inhuman ones, every single source I've read, I've taken a look at, say the same thing. Run. Don't stay there. Go get help. Get out of there. Don't tease them. Don't insult them. Don't try to fight them. You will only make them stronger. Just get out of there and good luck. Alright guys, thank you very much. Hit like and subscribe if you want to, and see you the next time. Bye!